The tropics are active in the Atlantic. Good Thursday evening. I'm Mike Naso with this 11 p.m. Thursday night update on the tropics. We have Jerry moving very close to the island of Barbuda there in the Leeward Islands. It never became a hurricane. The environment was a lot less favorable than we originally thought a day or two ago. Thought this thing would be a Category 2 hurricane, maybe even a major hurricane. Now it'll be lucky to become a hurricane, and even then it would be east of Bermuda and well north of the islands. We have a brand new subtropical storm. Can you see it? This is Jerry. We now have Karen. Can you see Karen? She's way up here near the Azores. Subtropical storm. Look at that little donut right there. Way far away in the northeast Atlantic, way north of the Azores, but it is a subtropical storm. We'll talk about it. Here's the latest as of 11 p.m. from the National Hurricane Center on Tropical Storm Jerry. Jerry's at 18.2 north, 61.6 west. Winds down a bit to 60. It's weakened a little bit. It has not become a hurricane yet, and the pressure is way up there at 1,005 millibars. Not very favorable at all. It's moving northwest at 17. It should then pull to the north and then eventually hook to the right, avoiding Bermuda. Bermuda, you've been around a lot this hurricane season. Thankfully, the worst it seems to have been Imelda, and that wasn't even that bad for you. Hopefully Jerry stays away. Should still be a hurricane by Sunday, Category 1, as it moves out to sea. We do have the wind field causing tropical storm conditions very, very close to Barbuda. Now, Barbuda, that is the island that Hurricane Irma went over back in 2017 as a Category 5 storm with winds of about 180, 185 miles an hour. Now, this thing is a tropical storm of about 60 miles per hour. Huge difference. And because it's so ugly and lopsided, most of the tropical storm winds are away from the center to the northeast, which means they're not impacting the islands. Nevertheless, we do have a tropical storm warning for Barbuda and Anguilla, St. Barthélemy, St. Martin, and Guadeloupe, and we have a tropical storm watch for Antigua, St. Kitts, Nevis, Montserrat, Saba, and St. Eustatius. So these islands here, all under the potential for tropical storm conditions as Jerry buffets them to the north and east. We are expecting tropical storm conditions in the warning area through Friday morning and possible in the watch area, and heavy rainfall is going to affect the Leeward Islands, British Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Puerto Rico through Friday. That could cause some flash flooding, particularly in urban areas and steep terrain. So, thankfully, because the system's pulling away, it won't be as heavy as if Jerry got in there and kind of buried himself in the Antilles. There's the satellite, and ugh, what an ugly view. Look at this thing. The center of the tropical storm is up here, well away from all the thunderstorm activity. It's not looking good at all. Look at these winds blowing right into it. Very unfavorable wind shear pattern. And even though the convection is bursting, that's keeping the intensity in check. Definitely not an impressive tropical storm at this point. There's another view of it from afar. And again, if the center was under this, it would be in a much better environment for strengthening. But the center is actually over here, and that's why it is so lopsided and ill-defined. Now, out here north of the Azores, as I mentioned, we have a tropical storm, and this is subtropical storm Karen. Here's the latest as of 11 p.m. Karen is at 44.5 north, 33.0 west, winds of 45, moving northeast very slowly at 9. It should eventually not be a feature anymore, although when we look at it on satellite, this is kind of cool. This is a little donut way out here north of the Azores. Definitely a storm, subtropical storm. And they started naming subtropical storms back around 2002. I was a teenager. They never used to give them names, but unless they became tropical. But if it doesn't become tropical, it will still have a name, and that name is Karen. Karen is expected to go towards land. It won't be much of anything by then, but look, Iceland. Think about it. We don't talk about tropical systems making it to Iceland very often. This is subtropical, but even still, when you're talking about Europe and Iceland, you're getting way off the map. Sometimes I don't even cover these systems, but they're in the Atlantic. There's worth covering. Here's the GFS model, and note it takes Jerry up and out. Doesn't even show Karen out here much at all. However, we're going to have a potential for a tropical wave off Africa to do something, and some want to bring it into the Caribbean. And then we also have the potential for activity off the East Coast, and then some late season potential there around October 20th or so in the Western Caribbean. So, I mean, it's possible we get another storm here, another storm here, another storm here, all before the end of October. So, hurricane season 2025 may not be done yet. And if you're in the United States, the Gulf Coast in particular, and the East Coast, keep an eye out through October just in case we get something. The Pacific, we have Priscilla, was a hurricane. It was a tropical storm weakening. Now it's strengthened a little more. Still a tropical storm, bringing moisture into the southwestern United States. As of 11 p.m. Eastern Time, Priscilla's at 25.1 north, 115.0 west, winds of 50. So again, it strengthened a little bit, moving north-northwest at 8. It should dissipate before it comes ashore in the Baja, but that moisture is causing a flood threat. We have at least moderate flash flood risk over areas of Arizona. So between Phoenix and Winslow, you guys could see some moderate risk of flash flooding. But even from San Diego all the way through Vegas, all the way up through Grand Junction and down to Tucson, you guys are at a flood risk. And again, this is all through the weekend, in particular on Saturday, as moisture from Priscilla moves on up. Look at that. There's a moist envelope with a tropical storm, and it's still pretty well defined for a 50-mile-an-hour tropical storm, pretty tight. But all that moist flow is going to pool into the American Southwest. So from San Diego to Vegas to Tucson, be ready for the potential for flooding. Be very careful. Then we have another tropical storm. This is Tropical Storm Raymond. And this is at 16.7 north, 102.6 west, winds of 45, moving west-northwest at 15. We do have a tropical storm warning along the coastline of Mexico because these tropical storm winds might clip the Mexican coast as it slides on up. Thankfully, Raymond should not become a hurricane and should weaken to a depression before affecting the Baja, although it's possible some moisture from Raymond affects areas by early next week up here as well. There's the latest satellite imagery, and again, there's Priscilla, and there is Raymond, and not going to have to deal with Raymond becoming a hurricane. It doesn't look that well defined right now. So that'll do it on Jerry and Karen and Priscilla and Raymond, and I will talk to you next time.